Recorded after hours with little or no editing. It's Defense Up on Run 7. How you doing? Today, we're going over Squid Pro Quo's defense. And the reason we're recording this after hours is because we went back and forth on these defenses and how to fix them for so long that I finally just ran out of time and I had to shut down stream to go pick up my kids. We're talking about Squid Pro Quo's defense. They're about 66 million TCP operating in Diamond 1. And they were kind of on the fence of a turtle defense or maybe going to more of an offensive stance. And we went back and forth. We were thinking about splitting things up and spreading them out. And then we found some chinks in the armor that just caused a cascade of effects to go wrong. And so we decided to revise the entire defense. If you want to be a part of those conversations, by the way, be sure to come by Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday is when I stream live. Mondays and Fridays for the Defense Up recordings. And we have a fantastic time with a lot of top-tier content creators and community assistance members, people who really know the game well. Come on voice and help me work through these. So this is the gathering of a lot of information. But we got through it today, and this is what we ended up coming up with. So in room 1, we have the Extreme with Rogue variant. Now, this is a very tricky defense. However, Superior 6 blows this away most of the time. And with the event ending and a lot of people having the option to put their Superior 6 on offense or defense, it might still work for you, assuming your opponent happened to put their Superior 6 on defense. If not, this is where they're going to use Superior 6, and it's probably going to trounce it. So what we ended up doing was actually leaving this in place as a stronger defense. However, we did talk about maybe going with the Unlimited, with swapping out Fire Chicken for Quicksilver to make it tougher, and then putting like the Extreme Dorm in 6. That's what a lot of people do, is spread this out. But we're not going to do that this time. We are going to leave the Extreme in here. This is great placement, great ISOs, a great build on this team, so it is super strong. However, expect the Superior 6 to just destroy this. That's kind of the thing you want to use on this. There are others. I believe MOE APOC can do it as well. You kind of need your those teams for other stuff. So for what we're going to do on this defense, this is really good. It is a little bit of a turtle defense, but we found a way to hit that sweet spot in the middle and go with a tougher defense and still have enough left on offense to make things work. All right, team number 2 is this Mystic Asgardian with Dormammu. The idea is that you hopefully accidentally kill somebody and they get revived, and it triggers that the Valkyrie passive, and she gives lots of buffs to the team and all that. And we thought about taking out Dormammu and adding Captain Sam, but then, or even Sif, but with a small Sif, if she dies, then it triggers Valkyrie. Here's the thing, though. If you have a small character in here like this Valkyrie or a really small Sif, we're talking like gear tier 15 is what we were thinking about, the Eternals come in and they double tap it and kind of wipe it out and rewind it enough you can kill Val if they survive that attack. So that was a bad thing to do, and we decided, you know what we're going to do? We're just going to go to the good old Darkhold with Loki. It's super boring, I know. Darkhold with Loki is kind of everywhere. It's a little bit trickier than a 5-piece Darkhold. It's what people are using. So that's what we're going to go with. We're going to put Darkhold with Loki in here to fix this mess. This isn't a terrible team. That Valkyrie is probably big enough to hang in here and make it through things, but I wouldn't trust it. I would just come in with some support characters in the Eternals and still double tap this, rewind it or something. The Dorm does help this, but we're actually going to use Dormammu on offense. This is one of the few pieces that we're going to take out to make our offense a little bit stronger. So for us, this is probably like a C, maybe a B class team. I mean, it's still kind of tricky and it could go wrong, but it could also be detrimental to your score with an easy kill. All right, in 3, we have the Infinity Watch. It's boring. It's done right. Great big team. Good job. This is probably the best room for it. Moving on. Room number 4. This is where things get really messy. Now, what we wanted to do was swap out Fury for a Green Hulk, maybe swap out Peggy for MLF, but then we ended up putting Darkhold. See, things cascade, and you start using pieces elsewhere, and then suddenly you can't do what you want. We ended up deciding to move this out of here. What we're going to do is move this team to room 5. Okay, so this is going to go to room 5, and what we're going to end up using is Black Knight on one corner, and then we're going to either put Green Hulk or Brawn next to him, followed by Red Hulk, then Abomination, and then Captain America in the other corner. So it's 3 parts Gamma, 2 parts Out of Time. Now, Peggy does not revive anybody but Captain America. She only revives the Rebirth members outside of War. So that revive isn't such a great thing. However, she does have a great heal that works really well. So if you want to leave her in here, she's still powerful. She can stretch out this defense and make it last a little bit longer. But a lot of her kit is kind of locked to her team and to raids. Or to War now. So we don't really want to use Peggy. It's not a terrible option, but it's still pretty good. And then, of course, Fury is not going to work in room 5 because he's going to summon minions, and we don't want that. He does work okay in room 4 because he's doing his special first, providing offense up and speed to the team. But the problem is there's a lot of things that are going to go into this, like Hive Mind in 4, and they're just going to flip that speed up into slows, and you don't want that happening. So let's go with the Black Knight, the out-of-time Gamma version in room 5 instead of this. Not a terrible setup. It's just that the Hive Mind is going to come in here and kind of tear it apart. So we don't want to do that. Instead, what we're going to put in room 4, nothing special, but it works really well, the Pegasus team. If you have a big Pegasus team, 4 is the room that they go in. Not the tech room in 5. Forget that. That's a blank room. Nothing works well in there. Just treat it like it's blank. In 4 is where it's at because one of the main counters to beat the Pegasus is the Eternals, and they're going to start without their ultimates. And so that's going to give the Pegasus team enough time to get going and rewind them and destroy things. Kestrel starting with her special, putting those defense downs across people and just wiping things out. It's going to be super powerful. There are some things that you can do to it, like a Tangled Eternals that'll go in there, but it's like you're slow playing it, and it ends up taking up a lot of turns, and you don't get that good turn bonus like you would beating Pegasus with Eternals in any other room, where they wouldn't even take a turn because the Eternals would rewind them. You'd add maybe a Falcon and a Shang-Chi to really make sure that they never even get off the mat there. So Pegasus in 4, we're going to move this team to room 5, and instead we're going to remove this team from room 5 altogether. We're going to use them on offense. Mysterio is a powerful offensive tool. Use him against teams like Infinity Watch because he stops immunity from occurring on that team under the right conditions. You need some superior 6 members with him. But keep Mysterio for offense. If you do, guys, if you do want to run the Secret Defenders on defense, then I suggest using Noir in there because the New Warriors are the main counter to it, and Noir gives you like a 16% chance of just screwing that up, and there's nothing your opponent can do but take the loss. 16% isn't a lot, but it's better than a sure thing winning with the New Warriors with just about anything else. Even Doctor Strange giving him the turn meter just isn't worth it. So we're going to get rid of the New Warriors. This was replaced with that Black Knight team. And then finally, in room 6, we're going to move that Mystic Asgardian team that we saw in 2 that we replaced this with Darkhold. We're going to be moving this into 6. And I think we're going to leave it just as it is, or we could possibly replace Dormammu with something else and move Dormammu to offense if we want. It's kind of dealer's choice. I actually like the revives in there. It makes it really tricky, but that Valkyrie is a little bit small. It's still susceptible to the Eternals blowing it up. But here's what happens. The room 6 rules, we have the Darkhold in here, but the room 6 rules that normally apply in here is going to mean that when Icarus steps up to take his turn, he loses the offense up. And he's not going to have the ability to just blow this team up like you would think he would. So what happens is most of them survive it. Either Val gets revived or Valkyrie then revives them later. A lot of things can happen to bring this team back on its feet in room 6. But that's because the green buffs get eaten up as health, and so your Eternals doesn't go into this very well. So we've got 2 teams that you'd want to use Eternals into. That would be Pegasus in 4 and this team in 6. And both of those rooms don't allow the Eternals to do very well, and that's mitigating what you want to do. Again, if you wanted to use the Secret Defenders, that's that Noir, so you're mitigating what the new Warriors could do into it, although we decided that we're going to end up using the Gamma out of time composition. I've been running that same thing in 6 and getting a lot of good results. It's going to work just about anywhere, but you want to reserve 4 for some specific things because of the way those ultimates work. All right, so Squid Pro Quo actually has a pretty decent setup in here. They're using a lot of the standard stuff that we have talked about, a multitude of content creators have talked about in their videos. We're just trying to move some things around to really maximize what a team can do versus its traditional counter. And so we're able to actually produce kind of a mid-level defense instead of going all the way turtle or all the way offense. Anyways, if you would like to have your defense featured on Defense Up, the links are in the description below. Find me on Discord, just DM me the messages, or you could ping me in my Discord and I'll find you. And we'll get you on the list for Defense Up. Remember, guys, don't just have a good game, be good to yourself and others too, and I'll see you next time. Bye.